Hey guys, today we have law number 11. Never forget to keep people dependent on you. Hope you guys enjoy this video. I'll keep it short for what it is, but life application, gonna teach you how to use this law, and enjoy. Is this thing rolling? At school, be the class note taker. Take neat, organized notes and share just enough to stay useful. I think when we talk about conversations specifically, we tend to blabber around like we're mentioning in the last law, but in this specifically, it's about being useful. It's about being punctual. When you take notes, be the person that takes notes for usefulness, not just writing down everything the teacher says, because you'll realize that most of the stuff that you write that the teacher says isn't useful. So it'd be like 90% of it isn't useful and 10% it is. But in this law, you just want to be a good note taker, and you can practice this at school. You can be practicing this at even work. If you're a waiter, if you are a cashier, you can practice this note taking practice really, really well. And I practiced this stuff as a waiter for a nursing home. Write in bold what matters. You do not need to write everything. Capture what matters. Focus on main ideas, the main things that matter, not word for word lectures. And I have a little bit of notes over here, I apologize. Use symbols or shortcuts. Maybe you might use a little star on the stuff that really, really matters to you, and you might write a line in between to really point out what doesn't really matter that much. And then review, clean it up, your notes within the next 24 hours, and add anything you missed. That's how you become a good note taker. Use colorful markers if you have to. I like using colorful pens, and use highlighters if you have to too. And that's how you become a good note writer. And it made me very punctual. It made me memorize stuff a lot better. And then not only that, it made me a lot more confident too. So that's point number one. Number two, run a group. Lead it, structure it, and be the one who explains tough concepts. When you're thinking about law number 11, learn to keep people dependent on you. Running a study group is a perfect idea. Running any type of group, a car club, a online group, whether if it's on Discord or even Facebook. Be the person that shows up every day, gives instructions for people what to do, and be willing to teach them. Later on in this law, I'll teach you guys how to teach other people without making them being dependent on you. But I'll explain that later on. But create a group. Even if it comes out a little bit shoddy and it's your first group and you're not the person that's showing up on time all the time, and you don't talk to a lot of people, it's a good environment to be in. You'll face people who are very critical, very pushy, very mean, and you'll find other people that are more softer in character and more patient. And it's good to be in those environments so you know where you want to be in, whether if it's a good balance in between or maybe a little bit more aggressive. So that's how you want to start a study group. Know the professor's style. Understand how they grade, what they like, and share insights with classmates strategically. When it comes from learning from people and learning their styles, I can talk about this perspective as far as preachers. I have seen preachers teach in different styles, whether if it's bullet points, topic, bullet points, topic, or it can be a topic and they'll talk about this long story about somebody and the key point that you should take out from the story. Everyone teaches differently. It's always good to get an inspiration on certain teachers. For me, it's a preacher that I met recently actually, that I really, really enjoyed his storytelling style. And I just got used to the points of bullet points and then explaining my story on that specific occasion or how I use this specific thing. And that's always been my style, but I wouldn't have known that style if I wouldn't have been taught by a specific preacher or a specific friend or a specific teacher from a college. It's always good to find inspiration from other people and how to teach other people, because now you can cultivate your own style and be inspiring and be confident within that. Create cheat sheets or flashcards. Make tools others rely on, but release them gradually or in pieces. So, good example, I got this stuff from ChatGPT and I'm creating my own style of this law and how to make it useful. You want to create something that is made people rely on for you, especially if it's something really, really good. If you create a cheat sheet on the 48 laws of power like we're doing right now, or if you're creating a PowerPoint on a specific topic that the Bible teaches on confidence, on faith, you want to make it in your own style so that people rely on you, and you want to make it easy digestible so that people can learn from it. But you do not want to give too much information, which will be a teaser for the end of the video. Have connections to pass exams and assignments. People will depend on you when you've got access to valuable material. You want to make sure that you have connections, on certain tests or certain studies or certain projects, because you don't know everything. And when you self-admit to yourself that you don't know everything, that boosts your confidence, because now you can rely on other people to teach you certain things. And it also makes you a little bit of a baby when it comes to learning stuff, and it's good to be a baby. And the Bible explains about being a child when it comes to learning. Children are very vulnerable to their parent. And when you start becoming vulnerable to learning and absorbing lessons, you become one of the best. You become one of the best in your area, because most people out here are stuck up on their own selves. They don't want to learn anything. They're stuck in their old ways, and they don't want to move forward in their life. But you're going to be separate from the crowd. You're going to be reliant on people to teach you things so that you become that new source of information. All right, so now we're going to go into work, and we'll close off the video. At work, how do you use this law at work? Well, it's pretty simple. Own a specific tool, software, or process. Be the only, emphasis on only one who truly knows how to use something, not easily, but critically. So if it's hard to do electrical work in your field, you want to be the person that knows how to do electrical work. It almost becomes habitual for you to do that electrical work for in the automotive field. I know a lot of people in the automotive field do not like hybrid systems, but what I can tell you right now, if you adopt to that system, you'll be ahead than 90% of mechanics nowadays. So get into studying your electrical work and get out there and really, really start to learn this stuff. Now, how to use this at work? Let's say you're the person that is a cashier and you know specific hacks on how the system works, or how to check out people super, super quickly, or you might know certain tricks on stocking up items by part number. You want to really be embedded in this system and be able to teach people easily on the critical system. That's what's going to make you different, because a lot of people might say, well, you're being interviewed for a specific position, it's your first day, and they might say, well, we kind of ignore that because of the fact that it's a little bit too hard. Or they might say, well, that's a little bit too hard for me, so let me grab you somebody else. No, be the person that knows how to do difficult tasks, because that's how you make yourself more reliant and make people dependent on you. Keep relationships strong with key clients and vendors. Make it so business flows through you. And how do you make business flow to you? Specifically at work. You make it flow to you by being gentle, being kind, being confident. Like if you run your own mechanic shop, let me give you two situations. Would you rather be person A, who is very relaxed, very confident in themselves, very negotiable, very easygoing, but friendly too? Or would you rather be person B, very aggressive, very firm with prices, very critical, very stern? You wouldn't want to be the person that's extremely aggravated and stern with being helped with. You want to be person A, who's calm and receiving and confident. That's what's going to help you with this law, is being calm, being collective, and keeping relationships with people. Because at the end of the day, when you have relationships with people, these are going to be the things that bring you more business. But not only that, it's going to make even more people dependent on you, even more people encouraged by you. This is what this law emphasizes. It's about being reliant on you. And that's what you want. Be the calm in chaos. When everyone else panics under pressure, you're the anchor. I can explain you this really well with McDonald's. There's plenty of times in the morning when you have a 5 o'clock in the morning rush where people just want coffee, they want their breakfast, the drive-through is extremely full. You have to be the person that can keep a repetition and keep a pattern when stuff is getting very tough. Or even at mechanic shops too, when you have a waiter and you have to get it done in 30 minutes and keep this rotation for hours and hours of people flowing through and flowing out. People are going to depend on you. And if you have good timing and you have that calm nature about yourself, even when you're under pressure, people are going to like that and people are going to flow to you. So that's why it's important to stay super calm no matter what the situation is. Whether if it's a rainy day or a thunderstorm, you have to remain calm, and that takes habit. And the habit that you can embed to stay calm is, I generally like taking ashwagandha, drinking a lot of water, and taking deep breaths in high pressure situations. And this is going to take a little bit of time, but I believe you can do it. Have inside knowledge of company procedures. Be the person who understands how things really get done. Number 10, lead small initiatives or side projects. Even minor responsibilities can create dependency if no one else handles them well. So you want to take small initiatives. This can be if you're leading a project, for an example. You might want to intervene a little bit and say, well, for this project today, I have a little bit of a little twist, so stay at the end and we're going to get this going right now. So let me tell you a little bit about this president. You know, little initiatives like that, or even the little initiatives of a crowd is getting a little bit loud in a room and you have a presentation going on and you might say, I'm ready. Or you might say, good morning, guys. How's everybody doing? You know, those small initiatives really matter a lot and they encourage people. You want to lead by an example when it comes to people being dependent on you. You want to lead by that example. And it takes practice. But at the end of the day, if you implement small strategies, again, introducing yourself, saying good morning, and this is just talking about communication, saying you did a good job yesterday. I appreciate what you did for me yesterday. Just those small initiatives of appreciation and opening up friend circle groups really help you out a lot. What else we got here? Oh, we got with friends. Be the planner, the one who sets up hangouts, trips, or group chats. If you don't, things will fall apart. Be the person that initiates, like I said. Be the person that says, hi, good morning, how are you? Or be the person that says, hey, I was just curious about how your day was going. You seemed a little bit upset yesterday, so I just wanted to check in. Take initiative. Be the planner with your friend circle. Offer unique advice or perspectives. Be the one they come to when things get real tough. And this is really, really good too, because you want to be that friend that people can come to because you're blunt, you're honest, you know what you're doing, you failed before. And when you become that person that is the seeking person for advice and perspectives, they're already going to rely on you and be dependent on you because they know that you're being honest. When it comes to friends and dependency, they love honest people. Introduce them to new experiences or people. If you always put them onto new spots, trends, or connections, they'll stick close. So, new experiences. So, I know this personally from relationships, especially the one that I'm in right now. And this is the only example I can use. If you're being the person that is introducing new experiences, so I've introduced this person to Japan, I've experienced this person with Puerto Rico, I experienced this person going to Rhode Island, to New Jersey, to New York. They've experienced a lot. And what makes them dependent on me is the fact that I've shown them these emotions. I've shown them these experiences and they've enjoyed them. And it can be vice versa too. Like if you showed them these certain experiences and they completely been disappointed about them, you will leave a scar in their heart, whether if that's good or bad. But they'll always be dependent on you based on these experiences, whether if they're good or bad, amplifying on that. So it's always good to give people new experiences and different perspective on things. Be a mediator. Friends fighting, you're the one who keeps the peace and holds the group together. Always be the person that sees both sides in situations. You don't want to be the person that says, well, I see, let's say, Andrew and Jeffrey having an argument. You don't want to be the person that sees Jeffrey's side only, but you don't want to be the person that also sees Andrew's side only. You always want to see both sides and try to see where you can calm the storm down. Rather if that means saying to the other person, hey, listen, you went a little bit too tough on this guy and you might have said something a little bit mean. I think you should go and apologize, etc., etc. You just want to be the person that mediates and really tries to bring friendships back together because it keeps people dependent on you. Be the reliable one. Always show up when they need it. emotionally or practically, and they'll lean on you. And then we'll end it with a couple tips because that one is kind of self-explanatory. Don't be replaceable. Focus on something others can't or won't do. That's how you stay needed. Be a mechanic. Being a person that fixes computers, troubleshoots computers. Being a person that's a photographer and knows how to take those perfect shots. Master the talent that you have so people stay dependent on you. And this can be a daily action, this can be a monthly action. If you stay consistent with the things that you love, you'll become a master at it. And I think Robert Greene talks about this being 10,000 hours of the specific thing that you want to learn in order to become a master. And this can take years of practice. And I think it's like 5 hours a day or something like that. It's quite crazy, but don't be replaceable. Have your own style and know how to teach this stuff too. And focus on things that others can't do. And that's kind of self-explanatory in that. Hopefully that example helped. Give value, but not all at once. Share enough to be helpful, but keep your full skill sets or knowledge close. If somebody is telling me how to do a oil change, I would explain it in this way in order to keep this law acceptable. So you want to remove the drain plug, tighten the drain plug as soon as all the oil drips out, remove the filter, put on the filter, lower the car, fill it with the oil that it says that it needs. You can find that in your manual. Start the car, let it run for a bit, turn it off, etc., etc., etc. You're just not giving a lot of information. As you saw in that example, I'm not telling you torque the drain bolt to 17 foot-pounds. As you see right there, I'm not telling you put on the filter hand tight. As you see right there, I'm not telling you to put in the oil at 4.5 quarts according to what the engine displacement is. All this stuff keeps people dependent on you. Be consistent. People depend on what's stable. Be that consistent presence others can count on. Be consistent. As we were mentioning yesterday, it's not only about being consistent, but the person that works with integrity. When you do things, be consistent so the fact that it keeps people dependent on you, because again, it's being dependent on the knowledge and the experience that you have, your skill sets, the certain hacks that you have about life. People want to know about these things, but not giving enough. But about being consistent. This can be an hour a day. You might meditate or read a specific book, and you finish these books again and again and again. They're going to depend on your knowledge. Like, I can say this about the Bible. Like, if you're the person that consistently is reading the Bible again and again and again and again, and you've read the whole Bible 10 times from top to bottom, I'm going to trust that person's advice versus the person that's read the Bible once in 5 years or 7 years, because I'm going to be reliant on the fact that they've been consistent on reading that book. So they're going to know the information a lot more deeper than the person that's read it once in the past 7 years. Protect your advantages. Don't teach everything you know. Keep something that sets you apart. Self-explanatory. So you might be the person that might know about computers, and when you install the motherboard, you have to install the software of Windows, and these are the little things that you have to do before you boot the system, etc., etc., etc. But you always want to give enough so that they stay reliant on you and they keep on asking you for questions. So you give people the bait, switch back and forth type of thing. You want to have this fishing thing. Bait, bring them in. Bait, bring them in. That's what this law emphasizes in. And that's what you want to protect your advantages. Don't just tell everybody everything that you know. Always keep a small little gray area somewhere within that conversation so that they can come back to you. And last but not least, to close this out, don't flaunt it. Make them feel it. Subtly let your absence be felt so people realize how much they rely on you. So now we're ending this video with a banger, is that you don't want to be there all the time. You want to be the person that remains distant. You want to be the person that has their own stuff going on in the background, because the moment they realize that they need you and that they depend on you, they're going to come back again for that bait that you just threw in so that you can pull them in again. And that repetition is what keeps the relationship very dependent. And if you need help, of course they're going to come back into you because they're dependent on you. And if they have to help you to have that dependency, they will. So always share just enough so that they can come back, but also be the person willing to say, whoa, I got to step back, focus on my own life, on my own goals, And if they need you again, be in there and just keep this repeating again and again and again. That's going to be it for this law. I'm enjoying my time reading these laws to you guys and opening up myself and learning about these too. That was law number 11. Learn to keep people dependent on you. And it's healthy, trust me. When it comes to keeping people dependent on you, you can use this for the good and you can use this for the bad. Again, you can use this for people who are emotional, using this law to keep a good friend circle around you, or you can use this in a way where it's kind of toxic, to keep a lot of women around you, if that's what you want. This law kind of helps you with that. And when I'm picturing about the 48 laws of power, it's slightly about manipulation, what I've learned so far, but it's also about laws that help you get ahead too. 50 Cent mentioned about this book being one of the most best books he's ever read to get him ahead in the music industry in the early 2000s. And it's helped him a lot. That's going to be it for today's video. I love you guys. Comment below what you guys think about this law. And God loves you too. Boo! Or I could be a complete idiot. Who knows?